Hey diary darlings, today I am starting a new series on my channel and it's called The Brushes and Blabber, and it's supposed to be just makeup and talk about whatever is going on at the current moment. So this is episode 1. As you guys can tell by the title, this one is going to be talking about my experience in a school shooting. So if you have any experience with a school shooting or any shootings in general, or this just might trigger you, please skip out of this video. This will also be kind of a makeup routine. I'll show you guys what products I'm using, but I think for the next videos that I do, it might be like an eyeshadow look or whatever. So to start off, I'm going to be using the Olay face lotion, and I'm also just going to use this Ultra Sheer Dry Touch sunscreen by Neutrogena. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but okay, now my face is all smooth. Okay guys, so the next product that I use is the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer, and now I'm going to be talking about the shooting. So, shooting that I was in at my high school, and it was this past school year, which is my sophomore year. You guys might recognize the date, which is September 10th, because that is the same day that Charlie Kirk died. However I feel about Charlie Kirk, I'm not going to be really talking about, because that's not really the point of the video. But that's just how you guys might be recognizing the date. Yeah, it was September 10th. It was a Wednesday at school. And for my school at least, on Wednesdays and Thursdays we have block days. So Wednesday we have odd classes, and then Thursdays we have even classes. You guys, now I'm going to go in with the MCO Beauty Flawless Glow. And then the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and I just mix them both together. So we have this thing on Wednesdays, and we called it Advise. I think it was just for like an hour because we stopped having it after the shooting. So the first thing in the morning, and weren't assigned to class, and you just got to go to whatever teacher you needed to go to and get help with schoolwork. And then during Advise, I remember like talking to my math teacher and being like, getting help with her because I had 2 math tests that day because I took 2 math classes this past school year. Helped me with them. And then I had study hall, and then I had my math class for algebra 2. And I remember saying to my teacher, I was like, thank you so much for your help, like I felt so good about this test. And then it was lunchtime. So I'm gonna be going in with this CoverGirl Stick Concealer, and I just go over my pimples. Okay, so it was lunchtime. Me and my friend, we ate it in one of my teacher's rooms, where we were like, we should go see our math teacher from the last school year. We were like, let's go visit him, let's go see how he's doing and stuff. So we had gone down to the main hallway, and we went to go see him. And he was in a rush because he had there's like a math teacher meeting, like all math teachers just meet up, and so we only got to talk for like a really short minute. Then it was like really annoying, but now like I'm just so thankful for it, because then we would have been in the main hallway for much longer and could have perhaps been down there during the shooting. Okay y'all, so now I'm gonna go in with the NYX Buttermelt bronzer. Okay, so yeah, we had talked to him for like a really short minute, and then we had headed up back to our classroom that we were eating lunch in. One of the administration like pulled us because while we were walking up the stairs, and she's like, why are you guys going up here? Like, can't eat lunch up here. And we're like, we eat lunch in a teacher's classroom. And she's like, well, you can't be bothering teachers during lunch, and that's their time. And she's like, is she fine with it? And we're like, yeah, like it's fine. And then she let us off, and it was just really annoying. Like, so we had gone back to the classroom. It is me, the friend that I had just went with, my sister, and my other friend, and my sister's friend. So there was 5 students and 1 teacher. And my other sister popped in the classroom, which was honestly just really odd because she did come into the classroom, but normally she ate downstairs in the main hallway with her friends. So seeing her just so soon was like weird, but now we're obviously thankful for it because she would have been downstairs during the shooting. But yeah, so this time also my friend had coincidentally brought some food that didn't need to be heated up, because normally she had food that needed to be heated up, and we would go into the teacher's lounge and go heat it up. And then normally we always just went to the bathroom, like before we were about to eat, go wash our hands, use the bathroom, whatever. But again, coincidentally, like we didn't go. Like all these things just coincidentally happened where we were in the same place, which I'm just so thankful for. Now I'm gonna go in with the NYX Buttermilk Blush. So we're all just like talking in the classroom, and my sister who came in, who normally doesn't come in, I'll give names. So my sister's name that had just come in is Katie, which was in the Who Knows Me Best video. And then my other sister was Bella. And then the friend that was with me who went to go see the math teacher is Valentina, which you guys have seen in basically almost all my vlogs. Okay guys, now I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. But before that, I actually sprayed the NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. Katie had spilled some applesauce on her shirt. So I just remember we were all just laughing about it. And then we hear gunshots, which were confused at first. We're like, what is the sound? Because we heard one. So then Katie and my other friend, which I'm not gonna name because I don't know if she wants to be named or whatever, she and Katie go to the door and they go check it out. The door's closed. They go to check it out. Katie opens the door and we hear another gunshot followed with some screaming, and like you can feel like the ground shaking from people running, you know what I'm saying? Katie starts yelling like, there's an effing shooter, there's an effing shooter. So by this point there's 7 of us, 7 including me and my teacher. And my sister Bella, she had her phone in her hand, so she immediately just called my mom. Like my mom was called like before they even put it on the announcements, like lockdown, you know? My teacher gets up running and she locks the door, turns off the lights, and we all hide in a corner in the classroom. My sister's on the phone with my mom, and my mom works from home. Both my parents work from home, but my mom went to her work office that day. She normally doesn't go, but she just decided to go that day. I was texting like my sister and my friends that I love them and that there's a shooter. I'm gonna go with L'Oreal Paris bronzer. By this point, we've heard so many gunshots. We've just felt the floor rumbling. I'm gonna insert the video, but we get a knock on the door saying it's the cops or it's the sheriff's office or something like that. And they're like, let us in, like. Do not open the sheriff's office. Do not open it. You've done lockdown protocols before, like you would know that you're not supposed to open the door. Like they have keys, and so we did not open the door. Which we later found out that basically everyone except us opened the door. But to back up, we didn't know that it was the police. We were pretty certain that it was the shooter. Like we were pretty certain that it was the shooter banging on our door. Like, because we were like, why would the sheriff's office be stupid enough to say that they were the cops? Like, they know not to do that. Clearly they didn't. But. Okay guys, now I'm gonna go in with the CoverGirl blush. So I was like, in the video that I have put up, you can tell that I was freaking out because I was pretty certain that the shooter was knocking on our door. I was like, we're finna die, like we're gonna die. And I'll also insert screenshots of me, I text my brother like, I think the shooter just like knocked on our door. I'm gonna go in with the Jumbo Stick highlighter, and I'm also gonna go with this powder highlighter from MAC. This entire time during the shooting, and also after the shooting for a really long time, everybody had thought that there was 2 shooters. Like all students were pretty certain that there were 2 shooters. So when the cops had initially knocked on our door and we heard 2 voices, so we thought those were the 2 shooters. It was just the cops. But we did find out that later on that the shooter, Holly is his name, he did knock on people's doors, but it was like downstairs. He knocked on the doors and did shoot through glass and stuff. But he did not do that to us, thankfully. Also, pause break. Look at this really cute mug. Valentina gave it to me. And I low-key forgot that I had tea, so now it's not as hot, but it's not cold at all, so it's okay. Okay, so yeah, we were just hearing so much gunshots and just so much things. Sit there and think about how many people were shot. Where's the shooter? And we just had no idea. Like, we didn't know how far away we were from the shooter. Nothing at all. Okay guys, now I'm gonna go in with mascara, which is this firework from Maybelline. Okay, sorry y'all, I'm gonna have to do this off camera because I can't talk while I do mascara. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna be using lip liner from Mario, and then just this tinted chapstick. Okay, then I go in with this MAC eyeshadow palette, and I just use this brown shade. Eventually the sheriffs do come in, or SWAT team. They do come in, there's like 5 of them, and they come in a room with keys. They have their like super big guns pointed at us, and flashlights pointed at us. I'm trying to get through this without crying, but I keep on having to like cut the camera, and we were rescued, and they took us down the hall, and I'll also insert a video.
Are they okay? Okay. Alright guys, downstairs, let's stay outside, okay?
They take us and walking down, and we finally get outside. Okay, pause. The James Charles palette, I'm gonna use the shade Firefly, and I'm gonna put it on top of the eyeshadow, and I'm also gonna put it on my cheekbones. So they're taking us down, and there is an elementary school right across from my school, and so they take us there into the gym. The last thing I'm gonna go in with is this, with the same setting spray. So obviously that's the end of my makeup, but I'll continue talking. But yeah, so we're taken to this elementary school where everybody is, and they eventually like put us in groups where like, if you heard something, and if you saw something. Okay, I'm gonna move us to the floor because I'm tired of sitting in my chair. Okay, so they had taken us there, did that, and then they had school buses come and take people to an abandoned elementary school about 10 minutes away or something.
Sorry, May.
It's where our parents picked us up. So, like I said, my mom was at her workplace, but thankfully they were like, go. And one of my mom had driven herself to the workplace, but she was just so anxious and worried, and she was on the call with my sister the entirety of the time. So from the start, literally from the start to where we got onto the school buses. My brother also goes to my school, and he goes to my school, and he also goes to like an early college school. So he goes to an early college school, and then during lunchtime he comes to my school. And so he was on his way, but my like dad called him and was like, don't come, like you come home, like there's an active shooter. So my brother thankfully did not come to school. My mom and my dad go into my grandma's car, and then they head over to the abandoned elementary school, and it takes a really long time for them to pick us up. And so all the students are just in this room, and I remember sitting in a circle with these people. Guys, I don't want to ruin my makeup, I just did it. But I remember sitting in a circle with these people from my school, and they were like, yeah, we're downstairs having lunch in the cafeteria, and then the shooter came, and they had running outside, and like they had to like duck down into ditches and like miss the shots. And you know, there's houses surrounding my school, and so people were just knocking on houses and asking to be let in. And
neighboring home doorbell cam, you see a child holding his heart, sprinting out.
Ring the doorbell. No, Jeremy, please. I know these people.
Then my parents had picked me up from living elementary school, and we had driven home. And when we got home, like, I immediately just jumped into my brother's arms, gave him a hug. Oh my god, you guys. So we got home. My mom's car was still at her workplace, and so one of her co-workers had driven her car back to my house, and she had gotten a bunch of ice cream. And so we had ice cream for dinner. And personally, for me, I'm not religious and I don't go to church or anything, but my sister is somewhat, and so there was a church gathering, and so she had asked me to come, so I came with her. And I think a few nights after, I had like a nightmare that there's somebody in my room and they were trying to kill me, and there's a lot of panic attacks throughout this just whole time. So now, before I go into detail about what happens after this whole shooting and how we went back to school and all that, I'm gonna backtrack to the actual shooting day. This is not my experience, it's just what all the information came out after the shooting. The shooter's name is Desmond Hawley, and he was a junior. My friend told me that her friend, who is a junior as well, had a class with Desmond Hawley right before lunch. They told me, and she had said that Desmond Hawley had like run out that classroom, like he had just run out that classroom. He had, I don't know, I guess he was just walking around for a little bit, and eventually he went to the bathroom, which was right below where my classroom the classroom that I was in, and he had taken out his, I don't know if I can say it's on YouTube, but his, you know what, and he had left his backpack in the bathroom, and then he started firing shots. Students ran outside. I'm not sure when the first kid is shot, but it was a freshman. I'm not sure. I think it was at like almost the very beginning of it. The second kid who got shot, who was a senior this year, was right before Desmond Hawley shot himself. He shot the kid and then he shot himself. I had never talked to Desmond Hawley before, but his TikTok was up for a few days after the shooting, and people found his TikTok, and he just reposted a bunch of Nazi stuff, and he's really homophobic and racist and stuff. Apparently his account was flagged by the FBI, and he was getting looked into by the FBI for stuff that he was posting online. I feel like I'm definitely forgetting stuff about like important information from the shooting, but I honestly don't remember a lot. I'm sorry. But you could find a lot of information online. But after the shooting had happened, first of all, everybody's backpack was still at school, and if you ran without your phone was at school. Okay, every car was left at school because police had to come in, search everybody's backpack, make sure that she didn't place any, you know, in backpacks. They did have us come back and get our backpacks and belongings. They also had a gathering. They had so many gatherings, you know, with students, you know, at lake houses and parks and stuff. I want to say this is like 3 weeks after the shooting. I'm not really sure though. They have us go back to school, but no backpack, no nothing. You don't bring anything because we're not having classes. We have activities. You know, you can paint, you can color, you can meditate, you can play board games, all these things, you know, in different classes that you can do. And they had that for 2 days. It was like half days, and then we started going back to school normally, but it was half days at first, and then we started going to school for full time again. But at this point, we are not allowed to have backpacks, no backpacks, and we're just carrying our stuff. And then they do say that tote bags are allowed. So eventually we were allowed backpacks, and you know, we had winter break, and then we had second semester, and second semester was normal. Like everything was basically just back to normal, I guess you could say, except it doesn't really ever go back to normal. We now have cops at like our school all the time, and like during the morning there's a sniffer dog for gunpowder. And then April I'm gonna say April like 20th or something, 21st. People online had identical accounts to Desmond Holly. Like, they copied his videos and his username and had started following people, including myself, from school and texting us. Some people got threats. I did not get a threat, but they did text me and they did follow me and stuff. So I immediately reported it, and I got the text like during school hours. So seeing that text of an account of the person who traumatized you during school hours, just awful. You know, I was just set back into a place that I did not want to be in at all. I don't know how much I've missed. I probably missed a lot because it's kind of hard for me to think right now. But for the most part, I think I covered a lot of my experience. You know, I go through panic attacks all the time now. I can't handle loud noises at all. Yeah, so, you know, obviously coming to my next school year, it's gonna be my junior year. They have said that on our anniversary date, they're gonna have a gathering at a lake house, and I'm definitely worried for the school year. September 10th is so close to like the beginning of school year. Like, I start school August 20th, and the shooting happened on September 10th. It's just so close to each other. So I'm just so worried for the beginning of the school year, just because I don't know how I'm gonna react to any of it. You know, I have all these resources to help me, so I think it'll be okay. I'm hoping it will be okay. So that was my experience being in a school shooting. If you're seeing or hearing any suspicious behavior, you can report it. At least in Colorado, I'm not sure if it's for a lot of the states. We have a Safe to Tell thing. I'll put the link in the description that you can go to report stuff. But don't ignore that stuff, because terrible things can happen if you ignore it. Thank you guys so much for watching.